It looks like Elliot Page is set for a big comeback in Hollywood, which I didn't see coming. Based on my impression from interviews and other projects, it really seemed like Elliot Page was done for in this industry and not going to work in big projects with big name actors anymore. From the looks of it, this person looks unwell and quite mentally unstable. And the last thing I heard about was Umbrella Academy, where they rewrote the script to cater to Elliot Page's gender identity. But the most recent news is that Elliot Page has been cast in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, alongside Tom Holland, Zendaya, Anne Hathaway, Matt Damon, John Bernthal, Benny Safdie, Charlize Theron, Lupita Nyong'o, John Leguizamo, Robert Pattinson, and I think they have the whole supporting cast filled out with Elliot Page, Himesh Patel, Bill Irwin, and Samantha Morton. And they have not clarified as of yet who any of these people are going to be playing, except for Tom Holland, yes, I believe. And
no, I think there was more than that, but I don't have it pulled
Matt
up.
Damon playing Odysseus, yeah, correct?
I saw a list at one point, but I don't have that pulled up for today's episode.
Yeah, it says here that Elliot Page is a Nolan veteran, having the memorable role of an architecture grad student, Ariadne, in 2010's Inception, as well as Patel and Irwin had a voice role in Interstellar. Universal has no comment so far on the castings. It seems like it's gonna be a huge...
I mean, the budget must be enormous
budget
for the
based on the
amount
talent that they have, and they're also going to be using CGI.
But I suppose it's also true that like a lot of actors probably agree to work for less to be able to work with Nolan, because he works with so many of the same actors over and over again, and he keeps his budget. I mean, this budget's going to be massive, but for the most part, his movies don't always come in at these huge $200-300 million budgets. Outside of like Tenet. I memean, even Oppenheimer only cost $100 million to make, and that had a lot of big name actors in it.
Zach Hates YouTube, said, I like my suitcase. New song grew on me. I knew it would. Mary's wearing the same shirt as yesterday. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did. Name that reference, Brett.
I don't know. I feel dumb, but...
Definitely not wearing the same shirt as yesterday.
I never get the references when they ask me to get them in the moment.
I wear the same looking black shirt literally every day.
I will never feel ashamed for not getting the references whenever they ask for references on here.
Here were some of the responses to the casting. One person said the producers might as well throw their money in a huge pile of, they might as well light a huge pile of cash on fire. It would save themselves some time. Nolan, what was this? They said Elliot Page in a Nolan film sounds intriguing. There will be chemistry between the cast. But then another person said this is how you throw away everyone's career.
I don't know
what has happened to casting.
What does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Throw away everyone's career. Every person named in there at the top level of that casting announcement, meaning the main cast, has got such a long list of successes that it's hardly going to be the end of their career.
Quite possibly the worst casting ever, worse than Borderlands. How the F is Matt Damon going to make Elliot Page and John Leguizamo interesting? It's a tough task, yeah, definitely. Another one said, I'm out. This is such a wild decision.
Yeah, but the thing is, the trailer could come out and it could change everybody's mind.
It's probably not going to be a major role, though.
No, I doubt it.
I doubt there will be much screen time on Elliot Page.
Nolan movies are an event, so even minor castings get attention when Nolan movies come out.
Yeah. It's just some people think that Elliot Page is going to play Odysseus. That's definitely not true.
No.
I'm almost certain that I saw it confirmed it was Matt Damon. And around the same time, it was announced that Elliot Page's own production company just acquired the rights to make a TV show adaptation from a video game called Beyond Two Souls. And this is actually a video game in which Elliot Page voice acted a female character, which already has me worried about the outcome of this TV series. It says in a Deadline report, amid a resurgence of video game-based TV series with the success of The Last of Us and Fallout.
I mean, there's been a lot of, even the Knuckles TV show did well, and Sonic the movies did well. Right now, you're probably better off betting on video game adaptations. Is Super Mario Brothers? You're better off betting on...
But there are plenty of bad examples, too.
Yes, but more hits than there used to be. I mean, granted, Borderlands doesn't count. That was a failure.
And it remains to be seen how the second season of The Last of Us will be received.
We will have to wait and see.
Another popular gaming title, Beyond Two Souls, is getting a TV adaptation. Elliot Page's Page Boy Productions has acquired the rights from video game developer Quantic Dream to develop a television series. The game starred Page alongside Willem Dafoe and follows Jodie Holmes, a young woman with extraordinary supernatural abilities who becomes entangled in a web of government conspiracies and otherworldly forces. Connected to a mysterious entity named Aiden, Jodie must navigate both military exploitation and otherworldly threats while discovering the true nature of her powers. So that's the character that Elliot Page, while I'm assuming still identifying as female, voiced in the game, and they decided to make this into a visual medium. It's worrying because Elliot Page now has a track record based on Umbrella Academy. And in case any of you didn't keep track of this story or forgot about it, there was a very controversial gender swap in Umbrella Academy for Elliot Page's character, which once went by Vanya Hargreaves. This is a female character played by who was once known as Ellen Page. As soon as Ellen Page became Elliot Page, they decided to rewrite the character and write this gender transition into the show. Yeah. They made Vanya Hargreaves into Victor Hargreaves during the third season. Yeah. And this was badly received by the audience, even though it's a relatively, I guess you could say, woke audience that was a fan of this show. It still wasn't received well. And they only did this to cater to Elliot Page feeling affirmed. Yeah. And I can't imagine that this TV series for Beyond Two Souls is going to be done any differently.
I would actually. What's interesting, if we go back to the Nolan casting, it's probably so there's going to be at least a certain amount of controversy anytime Elliot Page gets cast now, but in a Nolan movie that probably is one of the more bulletproof directors where it might be a little bit of a controversy, but his name is big enough and the project is big enough that it shouldn't affect it in the way that a lot of the people online are saying. I don't think that a huge portion of the audience, especially if Elliot Page is not featured in the trailer a bunch, unless for some reason it's just
30 seconds
of Elliot. If all we see is a couple of shots of Elliot Page, I don't think that tanks this movie.
Yeah, it's just difficult to look at someone who has that much sadness in their eyes. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. It's hard to watch even these interviews that
and that's not even the controversy about the video game. It was about there was images of a naked Elliot Page that got. Did you read so I'll read you what the controversy was. I'll pull it back up here. It says they were embroiled in a scandal when shortly after the release a fully nude model of Page was discovered in the game's assets while not shown or accessible during normal gameplay. A 2015 email leak indicated Page considered legal action against Beyond Two Souls publisher Sony after Quantic Dream, whose artists allegedly rendered the model without Page's knowledge or consent, declined mediation with his legal team. It's unclear how the issue was resolved. So clearly money must have changed.
It seems like that was definitely not intentional.
And money, enough must have been done to make it worth working together again.
Yeah, a lot of people were encouraging Elliot Page back when she was Ellen Page to actually sue Naughty Dog. Yeah. Because the character of Ellie in The Last of Us, the way that she's rendered, looks like the spitting image of young Ellen Page. And they believed that her face was essentially stolen for the character model.
Yeah.
You can see that that character bears very little resemblance to the mocap actress.
I mean, it would be if I was Elliot Page's manager, I would start getting away from activist projects. Remember, she
the last thing I remember is
was
that
the narrating the trans nature documentary.
Yeah, she narrated a nature documentary that was essentially arguing there are transgender animals.
Okay, so get away from the. I understand that the whole point, I'm sure, of starting Page Boy Productions is to make content that
I'm a boy, see?
Is to make content that matters to you, and what matters to you is a certain level of activism in your projects, and that's fine. But if you want to make money and make that imprint beneficial to you, like financially, you can't just stick to the activist realm. The best thing to do would be to get on board of projects like what Nolan is doing, and hope to God that everyone doesn't boycott those projects or, you know, make you too much of a nuclear option to cast where it just ends up causing problems. I don't think that will matter. I think Elliot Page will get work no matter what, and get in line with a bunch of projects where your identity doesn't play a role.
I saw a few more takes on the Nolan casting that were absolutely insane. One person said, putting a trans actor who has received so much hate online in a $250 million blockbuster, especially in the Trump era, is very commendable. Christopher Nolan has officially gone woke. You love to see it.
Is that what it is?
That's, I guess, that he's making a statement about where he stands on the gender issue.
Or it's because he worked with Elliot Page before.
Another person said, I'm sick of these fake movie fans complaining about this casting. Real film buffs are inherently liberals. You can't still be a conservative after seeing the world from thousands of different perspectives. It doesn't make sense unless you lack empathy and are effing retarded. Okay. And then another person was also offended they weren't casting Greeks for the Odyssey.
Yeah.
So that's a race swap right there.
There you go.
Another one said Paige, Tom Holland, Zendaya, the holy trinity of dog shit casting.
I do take issue with the person saying that you can't enjoy movies without being liberal. That's insane.
Hasn't Christopher Nolan said something to the effect of, like, I don't want my movies to be politicized?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have statements about how they feel The Dark Knight Rises stacks up as a political statement, giving like Occupy Wall Street and everything going on during that time period.
Yeah.
I deign to care. I just want to watch movies and have fun. But you can enjoy movies from all perspectives and still, again, then you'd have to justify, like, are you talking about fiscal conservatives? Are you talking about social conservatives? What are you talking about here? How do you even define that term now?
I don't think even they know.
Yeah, because, you know, I don't know who knows even what you'd be labeled today, depending on who you are and what you believe, given the fact that the Overton window is such a mishmash of different concepts now. Like, it doesn't even matter anymore. The desire to label everyone is the worst part of all of that. So
it's just ironic that Christopher Nolan would say he doesn't want his movies affiliated with politics.
Well, no, he's talking about the themes of the movies.
Well, you know what I mean, though. Right?
I mean, I don't know if that's what he's saying. I know what you're saying, but I don't know if that's what he's saying.
It's ironic to me that he would say he doesn't want his movies associated with political movements when very clearly the act of casting an openly transgender actor, especially one like Elliot Page, who is so outspoken about it, is itself a political move.
Again, I like, you can talk about the behind the scenes politics of it, but the story itself is what I think he's referring to when he talks about that. But I think he's talking about how those stories are analyzed by people and the political implications that people put on the story choice, not the casting choice. I feel like those are, like, you could say that they're intertwined, and they are, but I think he was specifically targeting what the narrative and the story was and attaching politics to it. The Dark Knight Rises was based on it was like a mishmash of a couple of different comics. I saw somebody in the chat mentioned No Man's Land, but you know, there was a lot of, you know, whether it's being pro-cop because the cops all get trapped in the city by Bane, who's like a false savior to everyone. Yeah, I don't think he was referring to his casting as much as he was like how people imply the story itself.
What I'm trying to say is that the very presence of an actor like Elliot Page, who looks like Elliot Page, sounds like Elliot Page, and quacks like a duck, it draws all the attention in any scene.
We'll have to wait and see if that plays a role in this.
It completely distracts from the plot, from the character that she's playing, and every other actor on screen. Yeah. Am I wrong? It's a complete and utter distraction.
Depends on how much they're in it. And again, that depends. That we talk all the time about, I don't know if the average person knows or cares.
Like I think it's inserting too much of yourself into the story.
Like I don't know how much the average person who's going to go see the Odyssey is going to care whether Elliot Page is in the movie or not. Certainly, remember we always talk about this the other way, where it's like, I don't know how much Anthony Mackie making stupid statements about Captain America will hurt its box office. I think that fight scene they released yesterday or 2 days ago is going to do far more damage than the stuff than the stuff that Anthony Mackie is saying. Like when it comes down to it, if Elliot Page is not a main character in the trailer and is just a name that's on like a list of 10 zillion different A-list actors that they're going to list when they list all of the actors that are going to be in this movie, I don't think it ends up hurting this movie's box office.
No, I don't see that as a realistic threat to the movie's performance. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.